What was ancient Greece? And why did this civilization shape the entire world? Try to imagine this. More than 2,500 years ago, when much of the world still lived under the shadow of superstition and absolute power. In a small land along the Mediterranean coast, people began asking dangerous questions. How does the world really work? Who are we as human beings? What is right, and what is wrong? That land was Greece. And from that place, a civilization emerged. One that did not merely change European history, but shaped how the entire world thinks to this day. What was ancient Greece? When people hear ancient Greece, they often imagine white marble temples, perfect statues, or gods living atop Mount Olympus. But ancient Greece was not just a place. It was an era, a way of life, and more than anything else, a new way for human beings to think about themselves. Ancient Greece was not a single country. First, one crucial thing must be understood. Ancient Greece was not a unified nation like modern states today. In antiquity, the Greek world included the Greek mainland, hundreds of islands in the Aegean Sea, colonies spread across the Mediterranean, mountains divided the land, the sea surrounded it. This geography prevented the Greeks from forming one massive empire. Instead, they developed independent city-states, known as polis. The city-state, the heart of ancient Greece. Each polis was like a miniature country. Its own laws, its own army, its own culture and way of life. Among hundreds of city-states, two stood above all others. Athens, the city of knowledge and freedom. Sparta, the city of warriors and discipline. Athens believed human greatness comes from intelligence. Sparta believed human strength comes from sacrifice and discipline. Two different ways of living. Two opposing philosophies. Yet both were essential parts of ancient Greek civilization. The timeline of ancient Greece. Ancient Greece did not appear overnight. It began around the 8th century BCE. And lasted for over 1,000 years. Passing through multiple stages of development. The 5th to 4th centuries BCE are considered the Golden Age. Art reached its peak. Philosophy flourished. Science, politics, and human thought advanced rapidly. This was the moment when Greeks began to believe the human mind can understand the world. The essence of ancient Greece. If ancient Greece could be defined in one sentence, it would be this: a civilization that placed human beings and reason at the center of the universe. Greeks did not only ask, "What do the gods want?" They also asked, "Why does this happen?" They observed nature. They debated in public. They accepted disagreement. From those debates were born Western philosophy, science, democracy, and art. But the bigger question is this: how could such a small land, poor in natural resources, without massive armies like Eastern empires, influence the world for over 2,000 years? The answer lies in how the Greeks thought. And that is where the story truly begins. Greece, the birthplace of modern thinking. If ancient Egypt is remembered for pyramids, and Mesopotamia for writing and law, ancient Greece is remembered for something invisible yet far greater. A new way of thinking. When humans began to question. Before ancient Greece, most civilizations explained the world through myth and divine will. Rain fell because gods were angry. Famine came because humans sinned. Fate was fixed and unavoidable. The Greeks challenged this. They asked, "Why does it rain? Why are we born only to die? What is right, and what is wrong? And most importantly, can reason help us understand the world?" That question marked the birth of modern thought. Philosophy, a silent revolution. In Athens, debates did not happen in palaces, but in streets, academies, and public squares. Greek philosophy was not about worshipping gods. It was about understanding humans. Socrates taught, "Know thyself." Plato explored justice, truth, and the ideal state. Aristotle systematized logic, science, ethics, and politics. Nearly every modern academic discipline traces its roots back to Aristotle. Logic, science, and systematic thinking. Before the Greeks, humans believed. After the Greeks, humans proved. They refused to accept ideas simply because it has always been that way. They asked, is there evidence? Can it be tested? Can it be debated? This mindset created mathematics with theorems, science with methods, education with structure. It is no coincidence that words like logic, philosophy, physics, ethics all come from Greek. Political thinking and democracy. Modern thinking was not limited to books. It extended into how society itself was organized. The Greeks believed humans have the right to shape their community. In Athens, laws were debated publicly. Power was not held only by kings. Individual voices mattered. Though deeply flawed, this system planted the seed of modern democracy. Why does this still matter today? Because every time you ask why, debate instead of obey blindly, trust reason, evidence, and dialogue, you are inheriting ancient Greek thinking. Greece did not teach humanity what to think. It taught humanity how to think. And that is why this civilization became the foundation of the modern world. But thinking alone was not enough. The Greeks went further. They turned ideas into laws, institutions, and popular power. And that brings us to democracy. The greatest gift ancient Greece gave to humanity. Democracy, ancient Greece's greatest gift. Today, democracy feels normal. But once, it was a radical and dangerous idea. More than 2,500 years ago, in Athens, the idea was born. Power belongs to the people. How Athenian democracy emerged. Before Athens, societies were ruled by kings, aristocrats, privileged elites. Power belonged to the few. Athenians asked a bold question. Why should our fate be decided by a small group? From this question emerged direct democracy. Citizens governing themselves. In Athenian democracy, citizens gathered in public squares. Everyone could speak. Major decisions were voted on openly. No noble birth required. No wealth required. Only free citizenship. For the first time in history, people did not just obey power. They became power. Law above all. One core principle defined Athenian democracy. The law stands above every individual. No one, no matter how powerful, stood above it. Law was not divine command. It was a shared agreement of the community. This idea became the foundation of rule of law, constitutions, modern citizenship rights. The limits of ancient democracy. Athenian democracy was imperfect. Women could not vote. Slaves were excluded. Foreigners had no rights. But perfection was never the point. Once the idea that power belongs to the people was born, it could never be erased. Its impact on the world. Rome learned from Greece. Europe learned from Rome. The modern world learned from all of them. Elections, parliaments, public debate, civic rights. All carry the imprint of Athens. Whenever you vote, defend your rights. or criticize authority peacefully. You are continuing the democratic legacy of ancient Greece. Core message. Ancient Greece did not leave the world, a mighty empire, or material treasures. They left an idea. Comments that people deserve to be heard. That power must be controlled. And that a good society only exists when its people participate in building it. But ancient Greece was not just about intellect and politics. They were also a civilization of emotions, art, and beliefs. And to understand Greek holistically, we must step into the world of mythology, art, and the firsts of the Olympics. Mythology, art, sport, the soul of ancient Greece. If philosophy was the brain, and democracy the heart, then mythology, art, and sport were the soul of ancient Greece. That is where Greece sends faith, fear, dreams, and the echoes of human aspiration for perfection. Mythology, gods who were very human. Greek gods lived on Mount Olympus. But they were not distant. Zeus ruled, but lost his temper. Athena embodied wisdom and strategy. Apollo stood for light, art, and reason. They loved, hated, envied, and failed. Greek mythology was a mirror of humanity itself. That is why, after 2,000 years, these stories still live on. In books, films, games, and popular culture. Art, the quest for perfect beauty. Greeks believed beauty came from harmony and proportion. In architecture, temples reached perfect balance. Most famously, the Parthenon. In sculpture, the human body became the ideal. Not overly divine. Not overly ordinary. But perfectly balanced. Humans became the measure of beauty. Western art learned from Greece. Natural proportions. The golden ratio. Celebration of humanity. Sport, the Olympic spirit. Greeks believed a healthy body reflected a noble mind. From this belief came the Olympic Games. Athletes competed. Not for money. Not for fame. But for honor. The ancient Olympic spirit was fairness, honesty, self-transcendence. The foundation of the modern Olympics. What ancient Greece left behind in this section. Mythology teaches people to understand themselves. Art teaches people to love beauty. Sports teaches people to push beyond their limits. Ancient Greece did not separate intellect, emotions, and physicality. They believed that a complete human being is one who is in harmony with all three. But how could a small civilization like Greece carry all those values to the entire ancient world? The answer lies in one man, whom history calls Alexander the Great. Alexander the Great, the man who took Greece to the world. If Greek thought was a flame, the man who carried it across continents was Alexander the Great. He lived less than 33 years. Yet left a mark deeper than empires that lasted centuries. The making of a legend. Alexander was born in 356 BCE. Son of Philip II of Macedon. From childhood, he was taught by Aristotle. He learned not only warfare, but philosophy, science, and Greek culture. Alexander did not just want to conquer. He wanted to spread civilization. An unprecedented conquest. At 20, Alexander became king. Soon after, he launched the greatest military campaign of the ancient world. In just over a decade, he conquered Asia Minor, Egypt, Persia, Central Asia, reaching as far as India. His empire stretched from Europe to Asia. The largest the world had ever seen. Hellenization, blending, not erasing. Alexander did not destroy local cultures. He merged them with Greek civilization. Cities were built in Greek style. Greek became the common language. Greek philosophy and art spread widely. The greatest symbol was Alexandria, the largest center of knowledge in the ancient world. This marked the beginning of the Hellenistic Age, when East and West truly met. A legacy greater than empire. Alexander died in 323 BCE at just 32 years old. His empire collapsed. But Greek culture did not. Rome absorbed it. Medieval Europe preserved it. The modern world still learns from it. Alexander did not leave a lasting empire. He left a world connected by Greek thought. Final conclusion: the journey of ancient Greece. Ancient Greece began as small city-states. Through Alexander, it became the first global civilization. Not through brute force alone, but through philosophy, art, science, and the desire to understand humanity. When we look back at ancient Greece, we are not just studying the past. We are seeing how humans learned to think, how societies learned to organize, and how the world learned to connect. A civilization long gone, yet never truly disappeared.